Hello, everyone. Good evening. Let me ask you, did you know that last decade was the hottest in 125,000 years? Are you aware the world is losing 1.2 trillion tons of ice each year? Do you know the 10 warmest years on record happened since 2010? Well, it's true, and these alarming facts are all linked to the burning of fossil fuels. My name is Parimala Bharati. I am a Power BI developer at Colaberry. I'm excited to share with you today my insights on the critical topic of global fossil fuel energy production and consumption. Once upon a time, very long ago, humans discovered a miraculous source of energy, that is fossil fuels. They saw these resources to propel themselves forward and create a better world for generations to come. Little did they know that the use of fossil fuels would eventually lead to a global climate crisis. As you all know, fossil fuels are non-renewable and they are formed from ancient organisms and they provide 80% of global energy and they are crucial for progress in technology, society, and economics. However, they have negative impacts on the environment, including air and water pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, rising sea levels, ocean acidification, and health problems leading to millions of premature deaths each year. According to International Energy Agency, global fossil fuel energy production increased by 59% and consumption increased by 46% approximately between 2001 and 2019. The challenge is to reduce global dependence on fossil fuels, transition to cleaner and renewable energy sources, and address the social, economic, and environmental consequences of the fuel energy industry. Governments, businesses, and individuals all have a role to play in promoting the transition to cleaner energy sources. My project provides a comprehensive analysis of global fossil fuel energy production and consumption. The top producers of fossil fuels are China, United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and India, while the top consumers are China, United States, Russia, India, and Japan. These countries have significant reserves of fossil fuels and expanding economies that require high energy consumption. For my project, I imported a dataset containing data on coal, oil, and gas production and consumption in cubic meters and tons, and then I have converted those values to kilowatt hours for a standardized energy measurement. And by doing this conversion, I was able to create a consistent and comparable unit of measurement for analysis. Then using DAX, I created a calendar table for time series analysis and a measure table to store relevant measures needed for the insightful analysis. Additionally, I imported country and continent data set for using continent as a category for my report and created a one-to-many relationship. Then I built a prod versus cons table, and this was used for my waterfall chart to display the difference between production and consumption. Coming to the key performance indicators, the main KPIs in my report include the average production and consumption of fuel, coal, gas, and oil, with the sub-KPIs for the year-over-year changes in production and consumption of each. The production indicator is green when the production year-over-year is higher than zero, and it is red when production year-over-year is less than zero, indicating whether fuel production is sufficient to meet the demands. Coming to the consumption indicator, it is green when consumption year-over-year is less than zero, and it is red when consumption year-over-year is higher than zero. And this highlights the potential for increased air pollution and global warming. This is the Power BI dashboard that I have developed, and I have taken the dataset between 2001 and 2019, and I have used a slicer for it. My first chart is a line and a clustered column chart, and the bars represent average fuel production and average fuel consumption, while the lines represents year-over-year values of coal, gas, and oil production and consumption. And the light colors in this chart represent production and dark colors represent consumption. And this is categorized by years. Coming to my second chart, it's a drill down chart, and it is categorized by continent, which can be further drilled down to countries. My third chart is a waterfall chart, and this displays the difference between production and consumption. When production is higher than consumption, it is green, and when consumption is higher than production, it is red. My fourth chart is a scatter plot chart, and this displays year-over-year values of fuel production and fuel consumption, with the size representing consumption and color, the shade of the color representing production. And this is also a drill down chart. I'm sorry. And my last chart is a visual map chart, and this represents average fuel production and average fuel consumption across the globe. And the size of the bubble represents production, and the color of the bubble represents consumption. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. So after analyzing the report, I have identified multiple positive and negative insights. I would like to present 3 positive and 3 negative insights using GIF to provide a clear understanding of the findings. My first positive insight is Europe's gas consumption in 2009 decreased 12.1% compared to 2008, which increased by 2%. And this was due to the factors including a global economic recession and changes in energy policies and financial crises that happened in 2008. My second positive insight is coal consumption in the Americas decreased 11.5% in 2015 compared to 2014. And this was due to the factors like changes in energy policies, increased competition from other energy sources, and a decline in coal production. My third positive insight is fossil fuel production for the continent Oceania exceeded its consumption every year from 2001 to 2019. And the reason for this is that Oceania has significant reserves of fossil fuels, and they have a small population and small energy demand. Also, Oceania's energy mix includes a significant amount of renewable energy. Coming to the negative insights, my first one was America's coal consumption increased by 3.9% in 2013, following a 10.5% decrease in 2012. And this may have been driven by several factors, including changes in energy policies, economic growth, and shifts in energy prices. Second negative insight is Europe's gas consumption increased by 14.2% in 2010, following a 12.1% decrease in 2009. And one of the main reasons for the increase was the colder weather compared to the previous year. Another reason could be attributed to the recovery of European economy after the financial crisis. And lastly, even the energy prices shifts may have also played a crucial role in the increase. My third negative insight is Europe's fossil fuel consumption exceeded its production every year from 2001 to 2019. And this was because Europe's domestic production of fossil fuels has been declining in recent years. At the same time, Europe's energy demand has been increasing, and this leads to a greater dependence on the imported fossil fuels. In 2019, fossil fuels accounted for 77% of China's primary energy consumption and 81% of United States primary energy consumption, indicating a continued dependence on these resources despite a slight decline from previous year. So overall, my recommendations for the major fossil fuel consumers would be investing in renewable energy, that is by allocating more funding towards renewable energy, then implementing energy efficiency measures, that is installing energy efficient lighting and appliances, planting trees and shrubs. And my third recommendation would be encouraging the use of electric vehicles, as they can be powered by renewable energy sources like wind and solar. Few of my other recommendations are promoting alternative transportation like public transit, cycling, walking, and carpooling, and also improving urban planning by designing cities to be more compact and walkable could reduce the need for driving and lower fuel consumption. Also, encouraging telecommuting can reduce the need for commuting by car or public transit. And my last recommendation would be implementing carbon pricing on emissions can shift to lower carbon alternatives. By implementing the recommended strategies, we can reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, decrease carbon emissions, and protect the environment while creating economic and social benefits. Say goodbye to fossil fuels, embrace renewables for a brighter future. Let's act now and create a cleaner and healthier world. The future is renewable, and let's make it happen. Thank you for your time and attention.